Hello, my name is Dr. Ben Kay and I work for the Primary Care Dermatology Society. I have the pleasure of presenting this short video on the recognition of melanoma and other skin cancers. Most moles are healthy and will stay that way. Healthy moles tend to have the following appearances. They have symmetry in shape and colour, and as per the description, what that means is that if you drew a pretend line through a mole, one half should look like the other half. A mirror image. Healthy moles also have a smooth, even border. They have an even colour. Sometimes moles do grow out of the skin and become elevated, but such moles tend to be soft and wobbly with a smooth or warty surface. This mole has symmetry, both in shape and colour, and it has a regular, smooth border. And we've put the imaginary line through this one, and you can see that comparing the two sides of the line, they're almost a mirror image, which indicates that it's harmless. Here are a couple more examples. Again, there's symmetry in shape and colour. And even though there are two colours, they are a similar shade of brown, and the colour is evenly distributed in a symmetrical fashion. The border is smooth. These two moles are soft and wobbly, they're coming up out of the skin, but there again is symmetry in shape and colour and a smooth, regular border, indicating that they are harmless. When you look closely at your moles, they may not all be completely symmetrical, and it's important to compare your moles, something we call pattern comparison. If a mole is similar in shape, colour and size to the others on your body and is behaving in the same way, it is more likely to be normal, which is often called benign by medical professionals. It can be helpful to take photographs of your moles and store them on your computer or iPad or tablet or even telephone. You can then compare any photographs you've taken every 3 months to look for any changes. It's important to note that if one mole is changing when compared to the others, it should be reported to your GP as soon as possible. The patient below has healthy moles. They are similar in shape and colour, and photographs taken over a period of 3 months confirmed that none of them were changing. Cancerous moles are called melanoma. They may or may not itch and may or may not bleed. Melanoma tend to have the following appearances, which are best remembered by the ABCD rule. A is for asymmetry, an irregular shape where one half looks different to the other. B is for border. Look around the edge of the mole, an irregular, uneven notched or a blurred border. C is for colour. One colour different to the rest. 2 colours or shades of colour that are patchy rather than concentric, or 3 colours or shades of colour. D is for diameter, more than 6 millimetres. C also stands for comparison, which is perhaps the most important clue to the diagnosis of melanoma, and indeed other skin cancers. It's quite common to have a few healthy moles that are not completely symmetrical, and some patients have a number of regular larger moles that look similar to each other. As such, it's important to look at all of your moles and compare them with each other. And if one mole looks different to the rest, especially if it is changing, or you think it's been changing, then this is what we call an ugly duckling, which must be checked with a health professional at the first opportunity. This lesion shows asymmetry in shape, it has a jagged border, and the colour is black and different to the patient's other moles. Another example. There is asymmetry in the shape of this mole. The border is abnormal, rather than being smooth, it has a notched area, and the colour within the mole is black and brown, different to the patient's other moles. This lesion here shows asymmetry of shape and colour. The border is quite clearly notched and irregular, and the colours within the mole are black, but if you look in the middle you can see pinks and browns. This one here, again, shows asymmetry of shape and colour, a notched and irregular border, and abnormal colours within the actual mole itself. There's pinks, browns. 3 or more colours is always suspicious. This one here shows asymmetry of shape and colour. The border is again abnormal, and the colour within the mole shows again lots of unevenly distributed colour. As well as melanoma, there are other types of skin cancer. In addition to the ABCD rule, also look out for EFG that can apply to melanoma and other skin cancers. The EFG rule only applies to a skin lesion that has all of the following features. The lesion has to be elevated, firm and growing. So a hard to touch raised lesion that seems to be growing is very concerning. And the next few slides show some examples of skin cancer presenting in this way. This one is elevated, it's grown up outwards from the skin and has formed a bubbly area of hard lumps. And it's growing, very worrying. This is another example of melanoma. It's growing up outwards, it's firm to touch, and it's growing persistently. This one isn't a melanoma, it's a squamous cell carcinoma, but it's growing up and outwards and has a rough scaly surface. It's firm to palpate and it's persistently growing. This is another type of skin cancer called a basal cell carcinoma. It's elevated, it has a pearly, shiny appearance, it's firm to touch and it's persistently growing. Again, a positive EFG rule. So far we have looked at the ABCD and EFG rules, but it is also important to remember the ugly duckling, which is any skin, nail or mucosal lesion that looks or is behaving differently to the rest of your moles or skin lesions. This is a melanoma of the nail. There is a new line growing along the nail which has got colour, and this is a nail melanoma. Melanoma has also destroyed the nail. On the left picture you can see a melanoma of the lip. Again, there's asymmetry and irregular border and different colours throughout the lesions. The photograph on the right shows a non-healing area that's been persisting over 3 weeks, and this is in fact a squamous cell carcinoma of the lip. This is another type of skin cancer called a superficial basal cell carcinoma, which presented as a non-healing ulcer on a patient's back. So to summarise, check for asymmetry of your moles, the border, the colour, and if the diameter is more than 6 millimetres. And remember the EFG rule. You have to have all 3 features: elevation, a firm lesion and growing. There is also the ugly duckling to remember. Get to know your own moles. This patient has many harmless moles. They are the same colour and are symmetrical in shape. The patient was confident the moles had not changed. In contrast to this patient, the lesion with the circle around it was different to the rest, and it was removed and found to be a melanoma. I really hope this short video has been helpful. There is further advice that can be viewed for free on our website. Many thanks.